Hello everyone, bringing you today's episode from my hot tub, my backyard. It turned out to be a nice sunny day, no clouds, figured why not. I want to talk today a little bit about my journey with pharmacotherapy, the various drugs available to help Parkinson's patients deal with the various symptoms of Parkinson's disease. A good friend of mine, Ryan, hello Wells. He recently told me that he is starting an agonist drug, and it's actually an agonist patch that I was on at one point. And I've actually tried 3 different agonist drugs when I first got diagnosed. Instead of jumping straight into the carbidopa, levodopa pills, they tried the agonist drug on me first. And the way it was explained to me was that agonist drugs basically trick the brain into thinking that it's receiving dopamine. And it was quite effective. And in fact, they do, here in the States at least, they do some pretty extensive counseling around the use of agonist drugs because they find that it hits the pleasure centers of the brain. And basically there have been, lots of instances of people developing, what I would call the vice habits, like gambling addictions, alcoholism, drug addictions, even sex addictions, all kinds of just crazy stuff, right? Because the drug, the way it interacts with the brain. For me, I had all of a sudden, which is not like me, I don't like to shop, I don't like to spend money. I had an online shopping, like, just bonanza that I went on. I would be up at like 2 or 3 in the morning and buy 5 of the same shirts, and then they would arrive at my house and I'm like, why did I buy this, or I would just all of a sudden buy 3 dozen socks, like, why? And then the other thing was I would drive incredibly fast. I had a little sports car at the time, a Scion FRS, a nice little sports car made for drifting. Well, I thought it was made for qualifying at the Daytona 500, which it's not. And when one of my counseling sessions, my 3-month check-in, I shared this with my doctor, and she said, okay, we're taking you off the agonist drugs. And this seems to be somewhat typical from what she told me, is that things go good, and the drug is working. Your symptoms are lessened, and mine were. Like, my gait was good, my tremor was abated, my mood was better, I had more energy. I wasn't, at that time, before I started any pharmaceuticals, I had to lay down at 1 o'clock every day to take a nap, and by 3 or 4, my vocal cords would give out. I couldn't talk. My gait was trash, and then I started these agonist drugs, and the agonists really worked. But just a little caution, word of caution out there. Any of you early on with your Parkinson's journey, of someone who's just been diagnosed, the agonist drugs are great, but just pay attention to when you get that counseling about the drug, and then be cognizant of the fact that, hey, why am I all of a sudden binge eating, or why am I all of a sudden love betting on the game, or betting on the ponies? If that's not your normal way that you would act, then be honest with your doctors. First and foremost, be honest, right? They can only help us if we're honest with them. So just that little word of caution there, not to be afraid to take the agonist drugs. They're actually great. It in a lot of cases will buy you some time. For me, it was to buy me some time before going to carbidopa, levodopa. For others who get the agonist patch, probably more likely introduced later on, it is to prevent you from taking so many carbidopa, levodopa pills like I do. I take 1.5 to 2 every 3 hours, and it's a lot of pills. Plus I double up on CR pills at night, and it's kind of difficult to manage protein intake with your diet around so many instances of taking dosage of your pills. So that's all, gang. I'm gonna get back to enjoying my 10 to 15 minutes in the hot tub. And for those of you in colder climes, what can I say? Florida's got its moments, right? All right, take care, guys.